excited about our next guest. I fangirl all three of these guys. You guys know them from some classic shows on television and film. Y'all put your hands together for Joey, Matthew, and Andrew Lawrence. Let's go. Oh, we had a Yule Ball on Friday evening because we had a couple guys from Harry Potter.
Where was I?
I know, right? Where were you? That would have been very exciting to have you guys here.
When I was in school, I wore glasses and had a similar haircut to Harry Potter. So I was constantly...
I was like, I see it. I see it.
Good call. I was constantly picked on, called Potter.
No.
In 6th and 7th grade.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. He's kind of cool.
Well, I'd take that as a compliment.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it. Well, I'm so glad you guys are joining us today. I am personally so stoked to be doing this interview with you guys. I'm a big fan of all three of you. How are you enjoying Corpus Christi so far?
It's been great. The people are so nice. And, yeah, it's a beautiful town. Thanks,
It's Mike.
It's a beautiful town, and yeah, we're having fun.
Is it y'all's first time here?
It is.
It's a y'all, by the way. It's going to get a lot of y'all's here. So.
It's y'all's first time.
Y'all's first time.
Yeah,
I also heard you went to the Hooks game, Corpus Christi Hooks, and threw out the first pitch, but I'm curious, how did you guys do it? All three of you threw the first pitch, or how did that work?
Individually.
Did you really?
We did.
We threw one ball, all of us touched
Together?
Our powers combined. Captain Planet.
We should. No,
Where is Captain Planet? Isn't that like due for like?
I would think so, because if not, I would love that show.
I love Captain Planet.
Me too.
And Animorphs.
He's a hero.
Animorphs. And then where are these brilliant things that nobody's...
You would think they'd reboot it, because they reboot practically
Everything.
So, I mean, I'm sure it's coming.
I think Super Dog is getting his own franchise now.
Probably. I can see that. Totally.
Yeah,
Crypto,
baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. We got to throw out the first pitch. We didn't get to warm up though. You know, it's always
Who's
tough.
the best? Like, who's the best to go in that
Well,
first
honestly, I think. Look.
Okay, I'm gonna step in here and say that I was totally joking and said that I threw the best pitch, and then someone behind me said, "You know, we heard that." So I'm just gonna assume that
We're gonna start that.
Yeah, like that's the truth.
Everybody and
even though it's pretty equal. It's pretty equal. And then to Joe's point, none of us have thrown a baseball in 20 years. So
Yes.
it was,
No, not like that.
Right.
I mean, because it's different. I think we all kind of threw it like you would throw it to an outfield. You know what I mean? Just because you want to get it there because it's a little bit of a misnomer. We're going to understand, but I mean the mound's higher than the plate.
Right.
So your initial reaction is to throw down, but if you throw down, it actually will round it in 3 seconds. So you have to let it release high. The problem is, unless you've warmed up and practiced a little bit, to zing it and get it there at the right sort of height is not easy to do. So Andy and I played it safe, and we released high.
Oh, yeah.
Like a throw.
Matt
I
Brown.
thought you said YouTube. What happened with that?
Matt Brown heat on it. He put some heat on it. Joe and I were more like softball pitches.
Yeah,
we went up.
Yeah. So Matt put heat on it, and then he grounded it, but ours were not any better on the other side. So
I gotcha.
we had some time to warm up for a minute. Honestly, we could have
Not
done
been
it.
drafted to the Hooks.
I know you played.
I mean, we're all athletes. No, but it was, we got it there. So that was cool.
That is true. I didn't even
But the
think about
ballpark
it.
is so nice,
It
and everybody
is.
was so nice. It's such a beautiful little
The
park.
view of the ballpark.
Oh, it's
and by the way, you guys are getting one of the last views of the old Harbor Bridge. That's kind of
No,
new here.
yeah, it's coming
They're going to
down, right?
demolish it next month.
Why?
So, it's been there forever, and it's old, and just it was time.
It's time to
And
go.
really, the new bridge is going to really improve the economy because you can get bigger ships.
Yeah, I see the cruise lines are going to start coming into Corpus, right? Which has
Well,
big-
we'll see, guys. We'll see.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Actually.
But that's what I heard.
Yeah, so the new bridge is kind of.
Local government's working on some carnival stuff.
Working on
Yeah. We just had a meeting down there, we know.
You guys are part of the committee. You guys are part of the Corpus Christi.
We like your bridge.
I love the Hooks game. We joined the committee.
You guys are honorary Corpus Christians.
We got the key to the city, so basically,
Yes, you're the bears.
and we're gonna use it. Does this work? I'm sorry, you see this, because I think you can get into that building. I've gotten a couple honorary keys. They're useless. You can't open up
I know
anything.
you're doing that.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
symbolic. It's totally symbolic. I tried, and they let me into nowhere with them.
All right, guys, well, let's get into it. I'm so excited. I'm going to have some questions. You guys, any questions that you have, be thinking of them now. I'm going to do some of my own questions, and then we're going to have you guys line up right over here. Give your name and your questions, so be thinking of that and get ready to line up halfway through our set, and I'll make sure to make that mention when we get ready to do that, guys. So, the Lawrence family, definitely known for being very tight-knit, obviously. We got the three brothers here with us. With family really being at your core, kind of in everything you guys do, and, you know, especially going from your early work to the podcast, we'll get into that. How has that really kind of family being the main center of what you guys kind of like your ethos in what you do in your career? Well, first of all, actually, I want to ask, do you guys fall into the typical sibling tropes of like oldest, middle, youngest? I saw that video that you guys did, that trend that was like, I'm the oldest. Of course I'm, and then it gets to Matt, he's like, I'm the middle kid, of course, and then cuts off, and then it goes on. I love that. Are you jammed sometimes, Matt? Do you feel like kind of jammed sometimes?
If he was early on, he made up for it, you know? He's the jammer now.
The best part is Joe didn't even let him speak, which is the best part.
He just cut him off.
Yes, I'm middle, but I have those middle tropes, but I tend to enjoy it. I don't have any, bad feelings about it.
Right, no jam, no, yeah. Joey's never got football to the face, that's good. So
I got a frisbee to the face.
Did you?
It was accidental, but yeah.
Who did
Matt
Oh.
fractured my nose.
You're kidding?
Nope.
So you were jammed, kind of. I'm not,
Yeah.
that's Marsha, you were Marsha.
Yeah.
50 yards away, I'll just say that.
Andy didn't catch it. He was coming.
Hit me
was
square in the
like a
eye.
hurricane.
It was at night.
You could see it for 3 days.
Somebody called my name. I turned around because I didn't think it was coming. It was taking so long to get there. And then when I turned back, it was
I'll never forget, Matt looked at me and was like, how did I do that? He saw it. It was so far.
I was like 7, too.
He played a song in between there and oh!
It's great.
Well, you guys obviously, again, have this great relationship, and, your mother and your father have been big influence as well. So give us a little bit of background on that. Like, I know there was a great story about, like, your mom bringing you to New York. So talk a little bit about kind of the early days of the Lawrence family.
Well, Andy wasn't around. It was pretty different.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
We just met that. No, man, look, I mean, it's really, you start at those humble beginnings. My mom's a teacher. My dad, still to this day sells life insurance. My mother still teaches. Just this weird sort of inkling to be in the TV. My mom took me to a picture contest and won it, went to New York, auditioned. I didn't really read because I was just barely 5, so I didn't read at the level that, like, you had to learn sides, and they gave me this big monologue for, like, a national commercial, and my mom didn't know if I could memorize it, but she basically recited to me, and I recited back and went in, and, the agent was like, that's pretty cool, send them out. And then I got the commercial and just started to steamroll that first year, and one thing led to another. I was auditioning for The Tonight Show back then with Johnny Carson and The Tonight Show, which I know a lot of people here have probably never even heard of, but he would launch careers. You could come out on that thing, and if you did well and had a really kind of special interview, which I ended up having, it could really change things overnight, which it did. It was sort of like viral video, going like viral. I mean, truly. Yeah.
Carson show.
So, yeah. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. TV was readily available, even though Matt and I also sang and did other things. And as my success sort of opened up doors, Matt also realized he wanted to do it and sort of jumped in. And then when we had Andy,
They kept me in a cage.
we did.
Until you were mature enough
You
to be out to the
They
world.
threw out a ham bone on stage and they said, go to work, kid.
That's right. No, it's funny. We've told the story before, but the really funny thing is when Andy was born in the hospital, my mother pulled us out of the business, which I'm so glad she did for like 3 years. And I went to middle school every day, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. It was awesome, really great. Those are some of the best memories of my life, actually. But and we always stayed enrolled in our private school. Matt and I did back in Philadelphia until we officially moved in. Matt, because he was young, went to high school out here. But other than that, we were middle school, right? We entered middle school, like 7th grade, right? Yeah. So, when Andy was born, the president of NBC at the time sent a contract, flowers, and a contract to the hospital and said congratulations, and then said we'd like to sign this one up. For real. At birth. I mean,
Hearsay.
he was kidding, but not kidding, but that's kind of,
It was
what
like
Andy was
on the
born
birth
into.
certificate.
He was born into that sort of.
It actually said it's at Montgomery County, NBC.
Right, it's like on the official birth certificate.
So,
Wow.
we started in Philadelphia, and officially moved out to California. We moved out in like '81 when I right after the Tonight Show was NBC signed me to do a couple pilots and stuff, but we didn't officially move till the late 90s.
So, and I guess we'll kind of start again with Blossom. I'd like to at least mention, I loved that show. I was fairly young when that show was on, but I still remember it, resonated with me. It was a bit ahead of its time, really, with some of the things it tackled, like, you know, single parents, divorce, addiction. That was actually very controversial at the time on television. But it had like a heart, it was very heartwarming. Your character, so lovable, obviously catapulted your career. Not brightest crayon in the box, but I will say there was definitely some moments I feel like they gave to you in the series that were very deep and had emotional depth, and you did them very well, and you had that nuance to it, and that range, and I thought this was really great. I mean, so it added, of course, you had a lot of levity in your character. It was great to watch, it was fun to watch, but there was a lot of depth there too, and I thought that was really great. So talk about a little bit of your time with Blossom. Do you look back on that time fondly? Is that something?
For sure, it was great. It was great. Yeah, I had done a couple of pilots in between Give Me a Break and that show, and they didn't go. And then with the Blossom one, it was just went back to NBC, the old old school NBC, and kind of where it began. And then went in, auditioned, did a chemistry read, and they took me apart. So it was old school.
That's
really,
awesome.
really cool.
And you guys both also made appearances. Was it both of you? Was it just Matt?
They both
Made appearances on the show as younger versions of yourself.
Correct.
Was it hard doing the role?
Yeah, I still
It's
can't.
hard.
I don't think
It's
I ever
hard.
got it.
It's like a special way to do it. It's not easy. I kind of, when they told me I was going to do your panel, I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. Like when they said that, you're like, get to the launch panel, and I was like, oh, like I literally said that.
No, but my analogies and stuff, what I do, I can't really, I sound like that when I do it.
Oh, I did it terrible.
No, it's not bad. It's just
terrible.
You get a little phlegm in your throat. You
Phlegm.
just so, but that was fun. Look, that was a great ride. I mean, the 90s were, first of all, it was a great decade. I think one of the last great decades that we've had in a while. But as a decade goes, but it was also a great time. I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It was so much fun. That kind of success, be like 15 and 16, 17, 18. It was really
And it like holds up. I went to revisit some of the episodes. I'm like, this like holds up today. Like I don't know why. I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere, but I would love to see the entire season.
I don't know if it is. I know that, I don't know. I don't know that. I know it's around the world a lot of places now, but I don't know if it's streaming here.
Well, it was a fantastic show. It really was, part of the culture. And I think I must quote that film like once a week, like I don't know, the whole time. Like there's just so many things I love about the movie. And your character really added a lot of depth, a lot of relatable moments. There was a lot of real issues. It was comedy. It was incredible. Of course, the late great Robin Williams, amazing. But your character really was a standout as well. I really felt that way, and I can't help but wonder what that was like. At that time, I know you were pretty young during all of that. You guys again got to work with Robin Williams. What do you take away from that experience when you look back on it in retrospect? I know you were in the business already, but I really do feel like that shifted your career in a real way when that happened. So
Yeah, for sure.
talk a little about that.
Yeah, that was, it's just an epic experience all around. Everybody, it's very few times you get to experience a crew that size and all of them working so well with everything that they do. I mean, everybody, head of every department was just incredible. Talking to them, all the things I got to learn from everybody, and obviously from Robin and from the director Chris Columbus. I mean, I've got so many incredible memories, and because I like reptiles too, they had just finished Jurassic Park.
Gosh, have you seen the new one?
I have, yeah.
Have you seen the dinosaurs behind the escalator? They have a whole, I've been telling everybody about that, I forgot to mention it today. Behind the escalator, they have an entire Jurassic Park whole setup. And you can ride. I actually rode it. It looks so stupid. I took a video of it. You can ride a little dinosaur, move up a little bit, and take photos. It's really cool. I would Jurassic Park too. So.
Yeah. No, they were talking to me about it, and they even gave me one of the pieces of amber with the steel.
Cool.
So it was super cool to get to meet all those people at the same time. And it was just that point in your life. I mean, I was 12, but you had to grow up fast when you're working, especially when you're working for pretty young. So it's weird because I know I was young, but I wasn't really treated like a kid. Like you have someone, for example, like Robin Williams, who he got me the job to begin with.
Did he?
Yeah, he got me the job, flat out. There was a big screen test, and one of the other kids was definitely in the lead when it comes to the studio and everybody what they were thinking. And for some reason, Robin really he had the ones that he liked, and he made sure, especially in my audition, that I got it. He did it because they were looking for this. You know, at that time, those auditions, the room was almost as packed as this. So, and we were on a couch similar to this, and Robin came in pretty much into Mrs. Doubtfire Get. It was pretty close. And at first, the kids, we didn't know that it was Robin. We were waiting for Robin. She sits down and starts doing her thing, and then the director comes over and says, "We just want you to know, this is Robin when I was playing, Mrs. Doubtfire, and he will also be your dad in this, but for the screen test, we're going to play it." And so then they're like, "Wow!" Yeah. Then when I cued in that it was actually Robin Williams, I was like, "Wow, it's already impressive." Anyway, they were looking for this one moment in the audition scene where it's a reaction, a physical reaction to this lady and how strong she is. And they hadn't gotten that joke out of the other two boys that were auditioning for this movie. So when it was my turn, and I was going last, and to be honest, they usually kind of put it like their favorite first, and then like the wild card in the middle, and then like their second favorite at the end, just in case. So I think I was kind of in second place, is where I was kind of placing. And Robin was like, "Look, and again, I'm thinking this, I'm 12 years old, and he pulls me aside in the middle of this massive screen test. He goes, "Listen, nobody's got it. And there's something that we're all looking for. If we can bring down the house in this one moment, we're going to go and spend the next 8 months together." And I was like, "Wow." Whatever. He was like, "Just go with it. React. Go with it." Get back on the couch and sit down. So he was like, "Let's get up." And it was like the soccer scene that made it into the montage where we're playing soccer, in the park there. That was a whole scene that they had just taken out of the movie. So that scene was the audition scene. And so he's like, "Okay," and they had a little ball, and we're doing it, and he comes over, and he's like body checks me, and while he body checks me, he gives me the hardest purple nurple. And I let out this scream, and I fall to the ground, and the house just lost it.
Wow.
Everybody starts laughing, everybody starts going crazy, and we finish out the scene, and Robin with this little twinkle in his eye goes, "There you go.
I don't want to cry. That's so cool. I love
And
that.
it was, I can see his eyes even to this day. He had this magical twinkle in his eyes.
He always does.
He just has that, especially when he lights up about something. And he was very, he was very passionate about us two kids from that point on. And,
Cool that he saw something in you, and even like knowing you guys all three of you, like he felt something in the connection.
Yeah, he
He
did.
had
Yeah,
a real good connection with Matt.
yeah, he let me in on these crazy things that I'm now thinking, like, I don't know if maybe I guess if I met a kid and I was like, I saw part of myself in it, maybe I would, but I have yet to meet a child where I would open up to my other side as well, because he brought me into the bad sides of the entertainment industry, substance abuse and what it can do to your brain, and he brought me into his, how his life is really great or really bad. And that's just, it's wild to think at 12, but I guess I just assumed I was more adult than I was.
Well, I mean,
Career.
I think also that's natural, being the fact that you guys kind of all grew up in the
Yeah.
industry and all that, you matured very quickly and kind of are adult